So one could make the argument that geoengineering is important, and especially if one thinks that we'll get past certain tipping points if we don't reduce the amount of warming beyond what's expected, or reduce the amount of ocean acidification beyond what's expected already, that if we don't do that, we're going to have very negative impacts on biodiversity, and one might argue for that reason. I guess as looking at that from a broader perspective, there are very few geoengineering solutions that have been proposed that wouldn't have potentially major effects on the biosphere. So shading using sulfur compounds, injecting them into the atmosphere would cause global dimming, so less light reaching the Earth's surface. And that could have major impacts on the functioning of most ecosystems and on biodiversity. Light is the basis of all life, or most life on Earth. And by reducing that globally, you're really playing with fire. And basically, there's no geoengineering concept that's out there. Throwing huge amounts of iron into the southern Pacific is the same kind of idea. It's clearly going to completely modify food chains in the ocean in ways that we don't fully understand. Maybe it might work, but it also might be a biological disaster in many ways. And so, since we don't have a good idea of how those would affect biodiversity, and it's difficult to do some of those, like global screening of the Earth, a shade of the Earth. Can't do that at small scales very easily. To test it, they're extremely dangerous ideas in some ways.